Your team say they're busy, but you're reading the financial reports and you know that that is simply not true. Sure, they might be doing the hours, but they're not converting it into the revenue you need to survive or very much to thrive as a law firm business owner. At Como Legal Coaching, our transformation program has achieved some incredible commercial results, up to 25% increase in billables within 3 months, all while supporting the culture that you want to build. So how do we do it? How could you do it for yourself? Well, it comes back to understanding a key strategic framework, which is capacity. What is the capacity of your team? If you think about it, whether we think of your team as an engine or a cup, there's a certain amount of capacity. With your law firm, your lawyers, there's a certain amount of billable hours, or if you're a fixed fee firm, we can convert it back. But there's a certain amount of billable hours that you can achieve per lawyer, per day, per week. Now, if we call that 7.5 hours a day, we know that our team are never going to run at full capacity. Maybe they will have some trials, they'll have some weeks of those kind of things where they are very, very full. We don't want them there for long. Where do we want them? What is the target? Well, that's where your culture comes in as a growth plan context in that strategy layer of the contextual business plan. Do you want 5 hours a day from your team, a more balanced approach, 1,000 to 1,200 billables a year? Do you want 6 hours a day? Are you running a very tight, hard commercial law firm where you do want your team billing 1,800 plus hours per year? You can choose, and the capacity framework will support that target. And we talked about a team that's too full doesn't feel good, but how does it feel when they're too empty? How does it feel when they've got a quiet week and work keeps getting taken away from them? Your team are sometimes just as stressed when they're empty as they are when they're full, because deep down they know they need to be busier. One of the problems is that work expands to fill the time made available. If they've only got 3 hours worth of work in a day, don't be surprised if it still takes them 7, 8, 9, 10 hours to do it. Sometimes giving the busy people more work is what they need to get more efficient, because the water in this cup is the dollars that get billed, or more specifically, the dollars that get receipted. And we want to know where your team are at. And by using an objective measure like capacity, hours, billables, timesheets, money coming in, we can have that conversation with your team separate to how busy they individually feel. This is how we have the commercial outcomes without ruining the culture that is so important to you. What can we do to fill the cup? How do we get more power out of the current engine? And teams understand this. Lawyers are smart people. They understand, particularly with some of the commercial training we do, how essential it is that we get this back up to the target. And then as well, we can have a conversation, which is we know how to measure when you are actually getting too full. We know how to make sure that you as a lawyer don't find yourself sitting here constantly running at a full cup month after month after month. So you as a law firm owner can now have the conversation. Are we filling the cup, or is the cup too full? And when the cup's too full, that's when you, with the support of your team, need to have a conversation about a bigger cup. And of course, what happens when we take a very full cup and we pour that into an even bigger cup is that we now need to fill that cup with water. And this is how law firms grow. We fill the cup, we grow the cup. We fill the cup, we grow the cup. And growing the cup doesn't necessarily mean more people. There's 6 different ways that we help law firms to grow. And that's all part of how Como Legal Coaching transforms female-led law firms. Our proven strategies to get more money, more time, more freedom, and more impact. Because I'll be honest, if your team aren't performing, if your team don't know their capacity and you don't know how to measure their cups and manage the water levels in them, then they might be half empty, but your cup, when the buck ultimately stops with you, runneth over. Head to comolegalcoaching.com to stop this from happening to you anymore.